Hello everybody, welcome back to another episode of Pointless Top 10, a show where we make top 10 lists out of pointless things. Why are we flying by this pointless statue in Booty Bay? Because inside pointless things are treasure. Let's begin. 10! Number 10 are Hellboars, and I put Hellboars on the list because I always just think of Hellboars when I think of boars. Like if I go World of Warcraft boars, my mind instantly is like Hellboars. Like it's one of the main boars I think of. So it's like, alright, well they gotta be on the list, right? So a little more fun facts about Hellboars. According to Wowpedia, they are spiny mottled boars that burn with different colored flames. They come in a variety of looks, possibly related to the amount of exposure they've had to the demonic energies of the twisting nether. Hellboars were once ordinary boars, now mutated by demonic influence. In Azeroth, the Hellboar is native only to the Blasted Lands. The Outlands variety on Hellfire Peninsula show far larger signs of demonic blood. Their hides are brightly colored and twisted into vile parody of boars. Hellboars also started appearing on alternate Draenor after the corruption of the Tannin jungle. So, you know, they're just demonic boars, right? They're just corrupted demonic boars walking around, and when you really think about it, that's kind of scary, right? These crazy demonic boars running around. I even see a quote here that says, "Veterans of the battle for Outland's Hellfire Peninsula are traumatized by the thoughts of the beasts to this day," or these beasts. From Mount Journal entry for Death Tusk Fellboar. So yeah, these things are scary. And they're also number 10. 9. Number 9 are Fellboars, and you might say to yourself, Crendor, Fellboars look a lot like Hellboars. And that's because they are. Fellboars are Hellboars found in Shadowmoon Valley. They can go into a frenzy, and when they do, they grow, turn red, and deal increased damage. So, listen, I'm not going to lie to you. I really like these green Hellboars, and it's one of the reasons I wanted both on the list, but I was like, you know what? These are green, and they're in Shadowmoon Valley, and I just like the color green slightly more than the red Hellboars. And you know what? These also turn red when they fight, so I mean, there you go. Also a fun fact, Oranok Tornheart has managed to domesticate a few to help him farm for tubers. So these Fellboars are actually useful to the Horde. I don't know if the Alliance have domesticated them yet, but the Orc vendor, the Orc General Goods and Drink vendor managed to domesticate a few, so that's kind of funny. I was just thinking of the contract, like somebody, like we just mentioned, was like, these are the most dangerous creatures I've ever seen in my life, and then, meanwhile, this dude's like, yeah, I got one as a pet. He, like, finds tubers. And that's why they're number 9. 8. Number 8 is Puffer, and Puffer is a boar that is one of Rexxar's companions located in Breaker's Crown in Gorgrond. And Puffer is actually a name that is likely a reference to Huffer, that is Rexxar's boar companion in the main universe. So, if you look up Huffer, Huffer accompanies Rexxar in the Blade's Edge Mountains, where he helps a Horde adventurer steal Grolok's sack by leading Grolok on a merry chase to distract him. And when Rexxar is assigned as a combat ally in Legion, Huffer can be summoned to accompany them. And Huffer is the companion in the Hearthstone Animal Companion card when you play Rexxar's Animal Companion thing. But Puffer is the new edition, I guess, of Huffer. And you get it, like Huff, Puff, I get it. But here's the thing. I think Puffer looks pretty cool. It reminds me of the Pumbaa from The Lion King. And I think Pumbaa, or I mean, I think Pumbaa's got the best skin, folks. And that's why I say Pumbaa is number 8. 7. Number 7 is Princess the Boar, and Princess is in the Stonefield farm in the Elwyn Forest, and is one of the oldest boars in the game, pretty much, next to all the other boars. She was way back in Classic WoW. She used to have 2 pigs that followed her around and protected her, but now it's just 1. That was changed in patch 2.3. In Cataclysm, she moved from Brackenwall Pumpkin Patch to Stonefield Farm, and no longer has an entourage, and got a new model with a ribbon. And then in Legion, scaled from level 4 to 20, previously was level 9. So Princess has changed quite a bit over the years. But you know what? She is still probably one of the most notable boars in World of Warcraft, and that's why I had to put her on the list. To me, I don't really have a lot of nostalgia. I'd never really played humans that much. I kind of remember this quest because I did, you know, here and there I'd make a human and be like, wow, but, you know, a lot of people were like, oh, you got to put Princess on the list, right? You got to put the Elwyn Forest Boars. And so I decided to kind of encapsulate all that right here with Princess. So that's why I put Princess at number 7. 6. Number 6 is Late Tusk, and Late Tusk is this really cool looking boar in northern Azuna with a bunch of like blue energy stuff flowing through them. I don't even know. But they're a part of a quest for a feast fit for Odin, where you have to acquire Thunderhorn Flank, Spine Sever Spine, and Late Tusk Steak. But aside from that, I think Late Tusk is just a really cool, unique looking boar. And there's really not much about them. I was trying to research, see if there's any cool stories behind Late Tusk or anything like that. And there's really not. They're just a part of a quest to feed Odin. So that's really it. But, you know, I think Late Tusk deserves more than that. And, you know, Late Tusk is a pet that is, well, not a pet, like in terms of like a battle pet, but a lot of hunters tame Late Tusk as a pet because it's a pretty easy, what am I even saying? It's a pretty easy pet to tame. It is an easable pet to tame. Yeah, that's it. There's nothing else, but I think they look cool. And that's why they're number 6. 5. Number 5 are the Cold Snout Boars, and I love these boars, man. They're just snow boars, you know? They're located in the Frostfire Ridge, and it's just a big happy family, right? You got there's 2 Cold Snout sows? I don't know how you say this. And then they have a bunch of the Cold Snout piglets with them. And they're just a happy family. So it always bothers me too in Blizzard. Like one of the only quests they have is kill wildlife. So it's just like you just go out like go kill these happy families of boars. Like I don't want to do that. You know? I always hate when they do that. That happened with like ducks and Dragonflight too. Like maybe it's like kill the ducks. Like I don't want to kill the ducks. So, you know, whatever. Besides the point. So I love these boars. I love them in the snow. And they're, you know, they're just living their life, man. That's it. You know, they're probably exploring more than anybody did in Draenor, because they're not in their garrison. You know, and that's it. The only quest that they're a part of is to be killed. So that kind of sucks. But either way, that's why I wanted to put them higher up on the list. You know what I mean? These are unappreciated boars, and they deserve to be higher up on the list for how cool they are. And that's it. I got nothing else. I really like these. They're number 5. 4. Number 4 are the Plagued Swine. And Plagued Swine are boars that are found in the eastern Plague Lands in Terrordale. And according to Wowpedia, they have a startling undead appearance, but they are considered beasts. And one of them is held in a cage in Shadowfang Keep during the Love is in the Air event. And they are an objective of one quest. There's one quest that these boars are there for, and it is a fate worse than butchery. And it's actually pretty sad. I didn't realize this. I don't know if I've ever done this quest, or if I did, I just skipped over it like most people do. There's like, you know, click quest, accept, kill thing, complete, move on, right? It's pretty sad. So here we go. It says, the people, this is the description of the quest. Kill 9 plague swine. The people of Terrordale, they were sick. Then they turned bad. Definitely not good times. The pigs, though, they also got sick. What did pigs do to deserve to get sick? Ha ha ha, nothing. People I can forget about, but the bad pigs still make me sad. If you kill them, though, I might get happy. And then while you're doing it, he says, I cry for the poor pigs. And then when you complete the quest, it says, I see them. Can you, the little pig spirits, on their way to the great sty in the sky? So I read that. I was like, dude, this is pretty dark, kind of sad. But overall, I mean, these pigs are still pretty cool, right? They may be suffering on the inside, but who isn't? And, you know, they got pretty cool lore, you know? I mean, they've probably got better lore than some of the characters in Shadowlands and Battle for Azeroth. So, overall, great boars, and they're number 4. 3. Number 3 are the Crag Boars of Dunmoreau, and I picked the Crag Boars because, first, I love Dunmoreau. So part of it's tied into the zone. Again, you know, snow boars, even though they're not really like snow boars like the previous ones were. But I needed some sort of starting zone boar. And obviously, all of them are very nostalgic. You know, people always mention the Elven Forest boars or the Durotar boars or the Night Elf Zone boars, right? There's a lot of boars. But for some reason, I think these just stand out above them all to me. And I don't know if it's because of Dunmoreau, but I think it's because of the beer-basted boar ribs quest. I'm not even gonna lie. I think that quest specifically just always stands out in my mind. I even mentioned it in one of my first videos I ever made, the It's a Hard Gnome Life video back like 14 years ago. My God. And, you know, I think that is the reason. I think it just stands out. So, I mean, that recipe, I think it's even made it into the WoW cookbook. But, you know, aside from that, you know, I think the boars do look cool. They got models updated in Shadowlands, so they do look better than they used to. And, you know, they're your standard boar, but there's something nice about that. Something very nostalgic, very simple, and that's why I had to put them on the list, and I figured number 3 was a good spot. Number 2 are the Shardhide boars, and Shardhide boars are found in the Blade's Edge Mountains, and believe it or not, are hell boars. So you might be like, Crendor, this is the 3rd hell boar you've put on this list, and you know what? You'd be correct. But I think they have the best color scheme. Like, I really love the kind of purple skin with the green eyes. I think it's really cool, and I think it fits the Blade's Edge Mountains in this area. I just love it, and so maybe I just really like hellboars. Maybe that's what we're getting at. But, you know, some people are going to be like, you just put 3 hellboars on the list. This is blah, blah. There's so many other boars you could have included. Listen, all right, I get it. But this is the point of the list, is that there is no point. This is a pointless list. A lot of people get that confused. They're like, are these the most pointless boars in World of Warcraft? No, the boars themselves are not pointless. The list is the thing that is pointless. And so a lot of people get confused with that because, you know, the whole reason I made this series is because everybody's making top 10 lists, like top 10 things you won't believe that, right? And so I was like, well, I'm going to make my own list, but I'm going to just straight up be like, yo, this is a pointless list, right? These are just dumb lists that I'm making that don't really matter. So if I put some hellboar at number 2, that doesn't matter because it's literally just my list in my opinion, which, you know, is pointless. And that's the point. Is that there is no point. So they're number 2. 1. And number 1 is Loshal the Boar. And Loshal is maybe one of my favorite number 1s we've ever done for a pointless top 10. Because when I found Loshal, it actually blew my mind. And I'm sure there's many of you out there that it's going to blow your minds as well. Because I was like, I didn't even know this existed. So when I was looking for boars, I was like, let's see, Loshal, never heard of them. And I saw it was in the starting zone. And I was like, what? And then I went there and I couldn't even find him. And then I realized he's just this tiny boar running around. And I was like, what? Like, he's smaller than a hare, like a literal rabbit. He's smaller than a rabbit. And so I looked it up, and apparently he is the object of the defunct quest Swine Hunting, which was intended to teach hunters how to use track beasts. And it just never made it into the game. But for some reason, they're like, just keep Loshal in there. So they made this quest where you learn how to track beasts, and you would probably, you know, try to find Loshal or like click on him or something like that. And then they just didn't do it. But they just kept him in running around. And so he's just been running around till this day. And I feel like a lot of people just don't even know he's there. Like, and he had his model updated in Shadowlands because he was a boar. And a lot of boars got updated in Shadowlands. So he's just been having a great time running around. And apparently, the boar will grow to regular size if tamed. So if you're like, oh, I want him as a pet, he will grow to a regular size. But then you'll have Loshal as your pet. So all these things combined make me put Loshal at number 1, and hopefully you learned something, because I learned something, and even if you didn't, we all get to see a tiny boar run around in circles. Hey everybody, thanks for watching this episode of Pointless Top 10. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, all that good YouTube lingo, and check out the other Pointless Top 10s if you haven't seen them. We just did Bridges the other week, and there's a whole bunch of other ones you might have not seen, so go check those out. Okay? Okay. See ya!